If I went to board and said, I'm going to change our front end framework, they would have said, no, don't do that, do this. But what I did say is, I'm going to make the website faster. Yes, you're going to make the website faster, and we are doing it bit by bit. How can I change the wheels of the car or the wheels of the bike without stopping?
Welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Toolbox Expert's Perspective. Joining us today, we actually have a very familiar face from one of our first episodes. A couple years ago, we have the Mr. Matt Lawson, Chief Digital Officer at Ribble Cycles. Welcome,
Hello.
Matt.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. The audience definitely knows you, but why don't you give a brief introduction on who you are and where you work and kind of your realms of responsibility?
Yeah, so I am the Chief Digital Officer at Ribble Cycles, which is a direct-to-consumer premium bike brand in the UK. We make all our bikes to order, so we have a bit of a considered purchase from that perspective. I oversee pretty much all digital aspects from IT to development to tech to performance marketing. So quite a broad remit. So responsible for generating a good chunk of the demand and also that fulfillment, that end-to-end experience from every system, from taking the order right through to dispatch and beyond. So quite a lot of things to look at. But again, my background has been pure play e-commerce. I've been in the travel sector, loveholidays.com. Again, e-commerce director there. And before that, feels like an eternity ago, I was at AO.com. Again, I was the head of conversion, responsible for the website for what the leading white goods retailer in the UK. So, yeah.
Very cool. And 2 years ago, when we did the first episode in 2023, something that you mentioned that really stuck with me is you can't outsource a high-performing culture. Looking back 2 years later, did that statement age well? How has maybe your opinion changed or stayed the same on that topic?
So I passionately believe this, and that it has stuck with us because you can't care enough about your own product, your own business, your own team, the people around you. I feel like that belonging and knowing what you're building is for you and for the business, and to feel the highs and lows allows the team to perform better, to deliver more. What's really important is that this, like, having the team in it allows them to understand more than just the task. It's the why. And that allows you to be able to push harder without them feeling like it's an effort, because it's part of it's their responsibility to drive either that project forward, that task, that completion of the thing that unlocks the wider business, to understand the stakeholders within the business. Because it's important to understand when it comes to tech and innovation, is that your customer isn't just the customer buying the product. The customer is the commercial team, the product team, the CEO, customer service. They're all part of that understanding of what you need, and you got to be in it with them. And that's what drives a high-performing culture, that belonging and that sense of, I'm doing it for the greater good of the team. And you can't outsource that. You can't pay people to care, as it were.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then you're kind of not in charge. As you know, when turnover happens, you lose some intrinsic knowledge. So, I mean, when we first chatted in 2023 on the podcast, it was kind of the hangover of like 2021, 2022. And a lot of focus was going on conversion, cost reduction. Looking back 2 years down the line, how are you organizing your team? Is it still like lean, conversion focused? Has any of that evolved or changed in the last 2 years as kind of macro is I mean, candidly, from my perspective, it feels like it's largely stayed the same. And one word is uncertain, but that's just my perspective. I'm curious to hear yours.
Yeah. So to be clear, the team is still the same team. So, what I said before around build a culture of belonging, people stick around. So I was just talking to some of my, with looking to expand our team, and I was telling them that like many of my team have been there just as long as I have at Ribble, 7, 8 years, and that knowledge and knowing that you've gone through these cycles before. So when you said about it feels exactly the same as what it did with it does. It is tough. It is hard. But when things get difficult and uncertain, a lot of these things are out of your control. So what you do in those moments is reset. You look for the essentials rather than the delighters. So it's about priority. When we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, we have been focused on is getting our ducks in a row. What is the thing that no one's going to say that was a bad idea? What's the essential ideas? What's the core proposition? What's the thing that's going to move the needle? And it's not looking for the silver bullet. It's looking for all the marginal gains that build up to give a better experience to our customers. Because the essentials have never changed. Have you got a great product? Have you got an experience that is good? Or you've got great customer service? All these things all just add up to allow people to then want to purchase with you. And therefore, that team to deliver that knows what's a decision they can make today, because we need the team to be empowered enough to have the autonomy to make those choices rather than asking for permission, knowing where it's what the right decision would be without having that fear of making a mistake.
It's really, really interesting perspective. Conversion is one in the margins. Could you think of some projects that you funded in the last 2 years that have actually played out, and you've seen some marginal gains, but when you add them up, kind of gets you to your targets?
Yeah, so biggest one and the easiest one to point at is back to that what's a no-brainer decision. And one of those things was, can we make our website faster? Fundamentally, it's an environmental factor that as people's attention spans become smaller and their time becomes poorer, it's easy for people to abandon. And you've got to remember, I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see one of my ads, I click on one of the ads that come in, and any delay is going to stop people coming in. So what we set our target is, we benchmarked all our competitors, and I said, I want to be the fastest. I want to have a great score on all the core web vitals, but more importantly, I want to be able to deliver that experience from our customers from a tangible experience perspective. And we went out it with a vengeance. And what was difficult by a site speed perspective is, where do you start? How do you do it? And some of the decisions we made in the past, and I think we talked about it a few years ago, about us wanting to go headless. We wanted to have an API-driven experience. What that allowed me to do was creatively find a way of getting the infrastructure for me to transform the front end page by page. So I'm not going for a big bang project. I'm going for a tactical, focused, like hyper-focused pinpoint project, page by page. Can I get the homepage to be the fastest? Yes, done that. Now onto the product, now onto the lister, now onto the configurator, now onto checkout. And we delivered it in a way that allowed us to do that. And it was quite complicated in regards to the logic, but having a team who could think creatively, have a infrastructure partner that equally is willing to take the complicated solution to deliver the simple objective to the customer allowed us to go after this. And we were able to, by page, drive every single page faster. And as we did that, our sales performance improved. And what we saw, because we were obsessing about performance and we made some changes and speed went backwards, we actually saw demand drop back down when the site was slow. We were getting to the level of details of, I was aware when we had to clear caches because the customer, like the product team needed to update the products. They're clicking the button to clear the cache. I could see it. I saw that ripple. It was impacting our customers. And therefore we understood what the costs were from doing it. But it gave us a good project that no one's ever going to say, don't make your website faster. Back to that point, when times are tough, what do you focus on? The things that matter. And for what we highlighted was speed matters. Just one of many things, but speed matters. And we were able to crack on and deliver what we think is good. We're not the best in the whole of the internet, but against our competitors, we are the best. So we pat ourselves on the back and we move on to the next project.
Very interesting. AI's been in everyone's boardroom in the last 2 years. Like, how have you guys thought about AI, right? Have you looked at it more of an internal tool? Have you looked at it as something that you put on your website? Yeah, I'm curious to hear your perspective. And actually, you and I haven't even spoken about this yet. So I'm actually, I'm really curious to hear how you're looking at it.
So if someone says, I get asked it a few times, like buy the board or where are you using AI? And it's everywhere. In every person's job, they are currently using AI. Even when I speak to my mum, she's using AI. She doesn't even know that she's using AI. It's just now starting to get embedded into applications, into SaaS technologies, into workflows. We're using it in multiple different ways, but across all team types. There's not one team that isn't utilizing it. It has been transformational in helping the teams drive efficiency, particularly around development. We've been able to integrate it into our marketing tone of voice. So how can I enable a team where historically you would need, we have to wait for sign off from a copywriter. I need to get this done. I can translate this through a tone of voice engine that we've optimized with the prompts that enable us to move quicker, faster. So you don't need to use lorem ipsum. I can use content that we've produced, repurpose it, get it on, move it forward. They may come back and re-optimize it and tweak it from a brand marketing perspective, but at least it was good enough. So, when we talk about MVP can actually be bigger than just MVP now, because AI has enabled us to develop quicker, more complicated features, and be able to fulfill that from a creative and content perspective too. So it's touching on every single point and allows us, the team, to be more enabled to move forward. And that's what's really important about, right back to what you said about what's important from a high-performing culture, is something that removes blockers. AI, for us, has done that. And we just embrace all the opportunities to do that. And we're taking it further. There's different ways of taking AI that's given to us. So the ChatGPTs, the integrations into tech, into things that we use from our SaaS technology points, you get the benefit for free. What we are looking at doing is, how do I take my own data sets of MI, our own intelligence, and build local like LMMs to allow us to enable the business to ask questions about ourselves, and allows us to enrich the business with MI that they would have required a data scientist to go get, because we need to democratize data, and we see AI as that gate key to allow us to be able to do that. So we're really keen to see how far we can push that.
Very cool. On the back of some of the changes in ecom, like a couple of years ago, everyone was going headless, API first. Some people are kind of taking another approach of just ultra simplicity on the website. Curious, what major trends have you seen coming? Where do you think it's kind of going next? Right? Like it was headless, then it was composable. Then there was also another camp called just straight up simplicity. I'm curious, have you given that some more thought, or do you think kind of everyone's in a good state right now?
It's interesting because there are camps that are trying to find ways to take their tech in the perception that it's safer, easier. So you see people trying to go, well, I want to go to Shopify. Why do you want to go to Shopify? Because everybody else is on Shopify, it must be good. And there's people going, well, I want to go, I want to implement my own web experience. I want to go headless. I want to have more control. I want to be do more customizable things, and therefore I'll go that direction. What we've prioritized is what allows my team to do what they need to do. So what is this decisions that you're making today that will enable the team to do what they need to do in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, and beyond? We need to look broader than the to-do list today. And what with the decisions we've made around going headless, API-driven, is enabling me to say yes to more projects, more stuff coming in, to be able to say, well, yes, I can do that. Because it's a game of how do you get through your to-do list the fastest and prioritize the right things. And what we've been able to do by taking the choices we've taken is being able to do what I would consider projects by stealth. So when I said before about doing site speed, at the same time as doing site speed, we changed our front-end framework completely. Nobody noticed it. If I went to board and said, I'm going to change our front-end framework, they would have said, no, don't do that, do this. But what I did say is, I'm going to make the website faster. Yes, we're going to make the website faster, and we are doing it bit by bit. And there's other things within our platform that I want to change, and I want to cut out. I want to make it more agile. I want to make it more efficient. I want to make it quicker for us to develop. I want to remove complexity. And I made that choice with the headless approach to allow me to be able to make those changes. And like I said, I like to call these stealth projects. How can I change the wheels of the car or the wheels of the bike without stopping? How do I keep on going and deliver upside to our businesses? And they're the choices and the strategies that you can take. And whatever the businesses choose to go, whether they want to go simplify or they want to have it will be the right decision for them because that's what they'll back. But for us, with the journeys that we want to do and the aspirations of the business of trying to get much more delivered, we needed to prioritize pace. And that's one of the reasons why we chose to take it in the direction we did.
Very cool. And Matt, this was a phenomenal catch-up episode. Really appreciate you hopping on. Really cool looking back. Really, it's 2 years, and looking forward to having you on again in the future. So I really appreciate the catch-up episode.
Very good. It's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. I think there's so much more to be talking about. We could go on for hours. And I'm looking forward to the next subject, what we were talking about.
Awesome. Yeah, likewise. Thanks, Matt.
The E-Commerce Toolbox Expert Perspectives is brought to you by Noibu. To find out more about Noibu and how we can help you debug your e-commerce site and rocket your revenue, visit www.noibu.com. That's Noibu.com. And then make sure to search for the E-Commerce Toolbox Expert Perspectives on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Noibu, thanks for listening.